Welcome to JavaScript for Beginners, where in this video we are going to be building this color generator. So as you can see, we have a screen with a color and text for color and a button to generate generate a color. So when we click this, we generate new colors. You could generate an infinite amount of random colors here. Well, you can generate as many colors as there actually is. And here you go. So you just can generate the whole way through. You can just keep going and you'll get all of these different combinations. And I've stopped on horrible code there. And you can actually come over to this, click it to copy it to your actual clipboard. So you can copy it, or we could generate new ones, copy that one. And there we go. You can see all the colors will be copied. So yeah, basically this is what you're building. So let's get into it. Just to mention, guys, if you want the source code, it's available on my Ko-Fi. I'll be adding it to here before this video goes live. So you'll be able to go to the shop, go to the Ko-Fi and get that for yourself if you want to get the actual code yourself. Or you could become a member and support the channel. It really does help out, so I appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and let's crack on with the video. Alright, guys, so I have opened up a new folder with the index.html, a blank CSS file, and a blank JavaScript file as well. So in our index.html, let me just go through with what we've got. We've got a default DOM layout here. So we have a color generator title, we have links with just a font. So this is just my fonts. You can just use basic fonts, you don't have to use Montserrat. I just prefer using Montserrat. I think it's a nice color palette. And then we also have a style sheet linked in. We have a body with a wrapper and a background color set by default. With all of this have default values. We're just using this emerald green look. And here we have a button, two buttons, one which has the text in and one which has generate. So this will be used to copy to our clipboard. This one will be used to actually generate the colors. Now here we also link in our main.js script. So we can actually use that. So first things first, let's go into our main CSS and let's actually make this pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a server. Now if you don't have npm installed, then you don't have to. You could just go into your file explorer, double click it to open it up, and as you can see, you will get the same results as if you were opening a live server. I just prefer a live server because it will automatically refresh the page. So all I do is npx live server dot, and if this is the first time running that from npm, if you just press Y when it comes up with the option saying, do you want to install this? Yes, it will do all that for you. So there we go. We now have a live server here. I'm going to press F12 just to open up the sidebar here in case we need to do any debugging, and also we don't need this much real estate on our screen, do we? So here we go. So back into our CSS. So first things first, we just want to reset all the styling because there's some default padding on this page. So I'm not going to explain the CSS too much. We're here for JavaScript really. Also, this should be CSS, not post CSS. We need our box sizing border box. We need our padding 0. And then we need our font family. And I'm going to set mine to Montserrat. And sans serif. So this is just my preferred. You can just use sans serif. You can use any font you want. Don't follow my. You can even style this however you want. Most of you are here for the JavaScript, so if I remember, I will put in timestamps at the bottom so you can skip this part. So we're just going to display flex. This is just going to just to help us bring everything to the center. We're going to have a flex. A flex direction of column to make sure it goes in a column shape. We're going to justify content center. We're then going to align item center, and then we're just going to have a min height to bring it to the full height of our page of 100 VH. We're then going to set some resets on our button. So we're going to make sure the appearance is none, the outline is none, the border is none, and also the background is also going to be none. So that should basically reset everything on our button. But now we want some default styling on both our buttons. So we're going to have the font weight of 900. We're going to have a font size of about 64 pixels. Again, this is just for this tutorial. You could choose whatever you want. We're going to have a bit of padding on it. I'm going to have a border radius just to ease up the borders. Again, 1 rem should do. And then text transform of uppercase. This just so everything is uppercase. Again, I think it looks better. We're going to have a min width of 450 pixels, just something I prefer, and then I'm going to add a transition of all 0.2 seconds, and we're going to set it to ease out. That should hopefully help us up. We then want to get our buttons, so I'm going to get this ID of text here, and this will be the first button we actually style, because these are going to have slightly different styles between them. We're going to have a color of white, because we want the text to be white. We're going to have a border of 5 pixels, solid and white, and then finally we just want a margin bump of 2 rem just to push the other button down. Now we want the generate button, so it has an ID of generate, so we're going to use hashtag generate down here, and what we want to do here is just say generate color, and we're going to make it a dark color, so I'm going to go like something like 212121, and then background, oh, that should have been white, not hashtag white, just white, background color as well. Be specific, it helps. I don't know if it does. Oh, we also need some hover effects here, so let's have a text hover, and let's just set the background color to an RGBA value of 255 0.2. That's just going to give us a, when we hover over it, it's going to give us a slight white background, and then active is when we click and hold down. We are just going to set its color to the same thing, but we're going to have full opacity here. So we're just going to set it to 1 there, just to make it have that sort of effect. When you click it, it fully goes opaque. And then we need a similar thing for generate, so we need generate hover effect. And we're just going to do the same. We're just going to do an opacity of 0.9 when you hover, and then when we generate, active, so when we click it down, we're just going to have an opacity of 0.8. Just a subtle differences, just so you can see some interaction. And that is all the styling we actually need. The main thing is now the JavaScript. So let's actually go see this. So there you go. You can see what it's looking like when we click them. They're there. Actually, I've noticed we need, inside of our buttons, we just want to set the cursor to be a pointer by default, just because, again, it looks better. All of that was just to make the styling. So now we're going to move on to the JavaScript, which is the bit you guys are here to learn. So let's get on to JavaScript. Let me just find my thing here. There we go. Into JavaScript file. We've already got linked at the bottom. So if we put something in here, let's say log test, and we go back to our color, you're going to see test inside of our area here. So first thing first, let's get our references. So our references are something we're going to pull from our DOM. We're going to get the reference to our wrapper, our text button, and our generate button. So to do that, we do something, we create a variable, a non-changing variable called a constant. All my references, DOM references, are always a constant unless it needs to change. I'll set this as a wrapper, document.query selector, and we're going to say .wrapper. I'm then going to get the text, which is going to be document.query selector, and you guessed it, hashtag text. And finally, we are just going to change this to be our generate, and I'm just going to name this generate button, just because I like to make sure I know it's a button. I don't know why. I don't even have to. The text is also a button. Ignore me. I make stuff up as I go along, to be honest. So let's actually get on with the function of generating a color. So we're going to say generate button dot add event listener, and I'm just going to say click. This is just going to be our event listener here, and we're going to use an arrow function. So this is just an arrow function notation block, and in anything when we click, we're going to run any code that's inside of this block. So here we have a generate button and an event listener. So first things first, we want to get our color. Now to get our color, we're actually going to do something pretty cool. So we're going to do hashtag, and then we're going to add in math.floor. So math.floor will take any number, so you can put any number here. You can say 32.5, and it will change it to this will be equal to 32, because it's going to remove any floating value. It will just get rid of it. So we're going to math.floor, and then inside of here we're going to do a math.random to give us a random number between 0 and 1. And then we times this by the amount of numbers you can get from a hex value. So if you don't know what a hex color is, it's essentially this color in here. It's added up of A to F in the alphabet and 0 to 9 in the numerical alphabet. Is that what it's called? I don't know. So you could go for 0 to 9. Each value, so from this, for all these 6 characters here, can be from either 0 to F. which goes 0 to 9 and then A to F. And obviously F being the brightest and 0 being the darkest colour for it, or the darkest. So 0, 0, 0 would be black, F, F, F would be white, and anything in between will be a colour. So what we're going to do is the most combinations we can get is 16. So I have to copy this out of somewhere because I don't remember this off by heart. So it's 16, 7, 7, 7, 2, 1, 5. I'm not even going to try and say the number. It's a big number. We're going to get that, and then we're going to change this to string because that's going to give us a random number between 0 and that number. And what we want is we want to convert that into a string, and we want to make it a 16-bit string, which will give us our numerical value here. So now if we log, so a console log will just log things to the screen. We did this a minute ago. If we log this and I click generate, you're going to see it gives us a random hash value there. Anyway, back to our code. Inside of here, we now need to actually set our text.innerText to be equal to our color. So this is going to now make sure when we click this, it tells us what color it is in there. And then we want to set our wrapper.style .background color, just like so, to our color. So this is going to do the same. It's going to set our background color equal to the color we've changed to. Now, let's just go back and change. And there you go. You can see this is changing to some pretty cool colors. It looks pretty cool. I've got an idea. I've not tried this. So we're just going to set a transition of all 0.2 seconds. And we're going to say ease out. Oh, I just want to see what would happen. So you get a nice little fade transition there. You can play with that. You either might want it to snap straight to the color, or you can have this nice little fade. I actually really like that fade. We're going to keep that in. Anyway, the next thing to do is set us to copy this to our text, copy our text. So what we want to do is we want to get the text button and add an event listener again. So you know how this works. It adds a click event listener, so we can actually, when we click it, it runs the code inside of it. And then in here, we're going to use the navigator.clipboard. So this will get our clipboard, and then we're going to write to the clipboard. So we're going to write text, and we're just going to pass our color. And now write the text. Oh, I say color is actually text.innerText, because we don't actually have the color value from here down here. We only have what's in this block. Anything in this block is only kept in this block. So let's go back to here. We're going to refresh, generate. Let's copy A9ACD, create a new tab, press paste, A9ACD, and there we go. And we can generate a bunch of different colors, and here you go. You're going to see a bunch of different ones all come through, and we can just copy them through. And these are some pretty nice colors too. But there you go, guys. So that is how we make a color generator in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I hope you've learned something new. Probably mainly just the navigator and the color generator, which is the main focus of this video. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, check out the Ko-Fi, the link will be in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.